In the heart of many ancient African villages, stories weren't just for entertainment. They were lessons, maps for the soul, showing the paths to wisdom and the pitfalls of human weakness. And two of the deepest, most dangerous pits were always greed and pride. Let's journey back and explore these powerful tales. Imagine a village, vibrant and alive, nestled among rolling hills. In this village lives a man named Kofi. Kofi is a skilled farmer. His yams are the biggest, his maize the sweetest. But with his success, a seed of pride takes root. He starts to see his neighbors not as community, but as competitors. He looks down on those with smaller harvests, forgetting the days when the community shared everything to survive a drought. His greetings become short, his advice, once freely given, is now withheld. He believes his success is his alone, a testament to his superiority. This isn't just a story. It's a reflection of a core belief. Pride severs the bonds that hold a community together. It makes a person an island, and in the traditional African sense, an island is a lonely and vulnerable place. Then there's Adama, a woman known for her beautiful pottery. Her hands shape clay into works of art. But Adama has a hunger that can't be filled. She is consumed by greed. When the village chief offers a reward for a single perfect pot for a special ceremony, Adama doesn't just want to win. She wants everything. She works day and night, not for the honor, but for the reward. She begins to covet her neighbor's unique glazing techniques. She steals special clay from a sacred grove, ignoring the warnings of the elders. Greed, you see, blinds you to everything but the prize. It makes you take more than you need, and in doing so you create imbalance. In a world where balance is everything, this is a grave offense. So, how did these societies deal with Kofi's pride and Adama's greed? The punishments were rarely physical. They were far more profound, designed to heal the spirit and restore the community. For Kofi, the punishment was subtle but powerful: isolation. People stopped asking for his advice. They stopped inviting him to gatherings. When his child fell ill, the herbalist was slow to come. He wasn't banished, but he felt the cold shoulder of the community he had scorned. He had his big barns and his pride, but he ate his meals alone. His laughter no longer mingled with others around the evening fire. This social isolation was a mirror, forcing him to see the ugly reflection of his own arrogance. It was a slow, painful lesson in humility, teaching him that a single finger cannot pick up a grain. True strength lies in the hand in the community. For Adama, her greed led to its own form of justice. The pot she made from the stolen clay, though technically flawless, cracked in the final firing. It was a physical manifestation of her broken integrity. She had taken from the sacred grove, and the pot, born of that transgression, could not hold its form. The community didn't need to punish her. Her own actions did. She was left with nothing but shards and shame. The moral was clear. What is gained through greed will eventually turn to dust in your hands. True wealth isn't what you can hoard, but what you can share. The respect of your neighbors is worth more than 100 pots. These punishments weren't about revenge. They were about restoration. The goal was to bring Kofi and Adama back into the fold. It was a process of moral re-education. The elders would often sit with the offender, not to scold, but to tell stories of humble heroes and greedy villains, stories of the interconnectedness of all things. They would remind them that a single tree doesn't make a forest, and that the river gives its water freely to all. This wisdom is just as relevant today. In our modern world, we often celebrate individual success, sometimes at the expense of community. We see greed glorified, pride marketed as confidence, but these ancient stories whisper a different truth. They remind us that our actions have ripples. Pride can isolate us in a crowd, and greed can leave us empty, no matter how much we accumulate. The punishments in these tales are not about an angry god or a vengeful spirit. They are about the natural consequences of our actions. It's a kind of spiritual physics. For every action, there is a reaction. If you plant seeds of pride, you will harvest loneliness. If you sow greed, you will reap ruin. It's a moral law woven into the fabric of the universe. Think about the character of Anansi the spider, a famous figure in West African folklore. Anansi is clever, but he is also incredibly greedy and full of pride. In many of the stories, he hatches elaborate plans to hoard all the wisdom or all the food for himself. And every single time, his plans backfire spectacularly. He ends up with nothing, often embarrassed and humbled. Children hear these stories and they laugh, but they also learn. They learn that trying to be better than everyone else, trying to have everything for yourself, is a fool's game. The ultimate lesson from these traditional African perspectives is one of unity and interdependence. The concept of Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. My humanity is tied to your humanity. Kofi's pride damaged the we, and so his own I began to suffer. Adama's greed tried to take from the we, and in the end her I was left with nothing. The punishment, therefore, was always designed to repair that we. It was an invitation to return to the community, to remember that your well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Once Kofi learned humility and started sharing his knowledge again, the warmth of the community returned. Once Adama confessed and asked for forgiveness, another potter taught her how to mend the broken shards, creating a beautiful mosaic, a symbol of her own repaired spirit. So these stories are more than just folklore. They are a guide to living a balanced, meaningful life. They teach us that true wealth is community, true strength is humility, and true success is lifting others up as we rise. They are a timeless reminder that the consequences of our moral choices are not something we can escape, because they are written on our own hearts and reflected in the faces of those around us. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of African wisdom. If these stories resonate with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into the rich tapestry of our shared human culture. See you next time.